Hey there, this is Andrew Bloom. Welcome to the Profit Logic YouTube channel. I am a professional bookkeeper as well as a PhD student in business. Have you ever been given the advice that you need a bookkeeper for your business? Maybe you already have one or you're searching for the right fit. But here's the catch. If you're like most business owners, you probably know just enough about bookkeeping to get by, but not enough about bookkeeping to be great at it. Does this sound familiar? Well, you're in the right place. In today's video, I'm going to guide you through what you should expect from a great high quality bookkeeper. Whether you're hiring someone new or you're looking to finally get one for the first time, I'll help you recognize both the green flags and the red flags. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what the value of a bookkeeper is that's worth every penny. But before we dive into the 5 essential tasks that every quality bookkeeper should perform, let's talk about what a bookkeeper actually is. Let's start with the basics. What is a bookkeeper and what isn't a bookkeeper? Let's break it down. A bookkeeper is like the foundation of your financial house. Their job is to record every transaction that your business makes. Expenses, sales, bank transfers, equity withdrawals, payments, all of it. They organize and categorize all this data into ledgers that will inform all of your financial statements, like your balance sheet and your profit and loss. So think of bookkeepers as the detail-obsessed, behind-the-scene pros who keep your financial records clean and accurate. But here's the distinction. A bookkeeper is not an accountant. While a bookkeeper focuses on recording and meticulously maintaining the financial data, accountants take a broader view, offering things like tax advice, financial planning, and strategizing. Sure, a lot of accountants also provide bookkeeping as part of their services, but they're also juggling a lot of different roles and a lot of different clients, which can affect the depth and the timeliness of their bookkeeping tasks. The best bookkeepers often go beyond the basics. They might manage accounts payable and receivable. They can additionally handle payroll, or even get your financial documents prepared for taxes. However, a number of these services will usually be reflected as an additional cost as part of their bookkeeping services. To tie this up, I also want to add there are a few other things that a bookkeeper is not, besides just not being an accountant. They are not your office manager, they are not your employee unless you hire an in-house bookkeeper, and they're not an assistant. A skilled bookkeeper focuses solely on getting your transactions properly organized, and they're just there to focus on your finances. That focus allows for timeliness and precision. Now that we got that caveat cleared away, let's dive into the 5 essential tasks that your bookkeeper should be handling and should be handling well. And by the way, before we dive in, if you've already learned something this far in the video, can you do me a favor right now? Hit that like button down there and subscribe to this channel so you can receive more tips on bookkeeping and organizing your business's finances. These are topics that are crucial in helping your business grow. All right, ready? Let's go. Task 1, accurately categorizing transactions. This is the backbone of bookkeeping. Every dollar coming in or going out of your business needs to be categorized correctly, whether that's an income, an expense, or an asset. Proper categorization keeps your financial records clean, and it helps ensure that your taxes will be accurate. Now, here's the thing about knowing whether you have a knowledgeable bookkeeper or not. There isn't exactly any governing educational body or licensure for being a professional bookkeeper. So when you're looking for a bookkeeper, you're going to want to find some kind of level of education listed either in their CV or on the About Me page. This can look like having a BA in accounting, as well as designations like the CPB, which is a licensed certified public bookkeeper, or a CB, which is a certified bookkeeper, and even certification from Intuit for their bookkeeper program on Coursera. Another thing to keep in mind though is that no two qualified, highly educated bookkeepers are going to categorize a business's books exactly the same. So there's a little bit of an art as well as a science to categorizing transactions. If you want to double check that you have a bookkeeper who knows what they're doing, can have an accountant go over and double check your bookkeeper's work just to use as a litmus test to make sure your bookkeeper is properly categorizing your transactions. Categorizing expenses properly especially will help you in getting the correct deductions when it comes to tax time. All right, moving on. Task number 2, communicating clearly and regularly. Your bookkeeper should be your financial translator, someone who can explain transactions, flag issues, and provide clarity on your numbers. This is especially important because transactions that come through a bank feed can sometimes be a little bit vague or unclear. Have you ever picked up a receipt or gone over a bank statement of your partner, a family member, or friend? It can be really hard to know exactly what certain things are without a further conversation. Not all businesses know how to clearly designate an item sold in the banking description. Because of this, expect to hear from your bookkeeper at least monthly, ideally more, to ask you about transactions, as well as to provide provide other financial information. And here's a red flag. If you hired a bookkeeper to do your monthly bookkeeping and you haven't heard from them in over 6 weeks, it's likely that they're not on top of your books. And it's time to find someone who can give you that level of speed and efficacy that is so beneficial to getting the most out of having a bookkeeper. Next, task 3, asking for bank statements monthly. This is a no-brainer. Your bookkeeper needs your bank and credit card statements on a monthly basis so that they can perform a reconciliation of your accounts. Your bookkeeper should be asking you at the end of the month for these statements, and you, as a business owner, have an obligation to very quickly provide those statements so that your books can get reconciled ASAP and everything can stay up to date. The practice of reconciliation checks your bank statements against the transactions that are recorded in the bookkeeping software to make sure everything matches and there's nothing missing. It's also a great way to stay on top of catching any potential errors or sniffing out fraud if there is any occurring in your business. Task 4, providing monthly financial reports. So your monthly financial reports are like your business's pulse. They tell you exactly how healthy or not your finances are. At the bare minimum, you should be receiving a profit and loss statement every single month, assuming that you've provided your bank statements and the books can be reconciled. These reports hold tremendous value and insights that you can act on quickly. You can receive other reports like a balance sheet, a cash flow statement, as well as invoices that are unpaid or bills that are unpaid. There are even more reports beyond this in high quality bookkeeping software like QuickBooks, so have a conversation with your bookkeeper to find out what's available to you. If you don't receive these statements, you could be missing out on data that could help your business grow. And lastly, task 5, making manual journal entries when needed. So not everything in bookkeeping is straightforward. This is where being able to write manual journal entries comes into play. So let's say your business bought supplies in December but didn't use them until January. So in December, those supplies are an asset, but later in January, they become an expense as they're used up. Your bookkeeper should be able to go into your QuickBooks, for example, and create a journal entry that will reflect and divide between last year's books and the activity on this year's books. Often this is a journal transaction that needs to be done manually, and it's something that your bookkeeper also needs to know how to do. So again, you'll want to find bookkeepers who have a college level accounting education or bookkeeping certification. The more accurate your bookkeeping, the more rich information you can get out of that data that aligns with your business's activities. Manual entries are like fine-tuning an instrument. There are very unique transactions and financial situations that not all AI bookkeeping tools can possibly cover. And kind of like a programmer who sometimes needs to go into the code and do something to just force it to work, there are ways in which knowledgeable bookkeepers can make sure your books can be reconciled, that they can stay up to date and reflect actual activity in your business. So to wrap up, I hope you could tell by now that a bookkeeper isn't a nice to have. They're actually a critical part of your business's success. By ensuring that they're performing these 5 essential tasks and providing clear, timely communication, you can rest easy knowing that your financial records are in good hands. As a bookkeeper myself, the quality of performance I just mentioned is something I aspire to with all of my clients. So if you are in need of a bookkeeper and would like to work with me, use a link in the description box to the Profit Logic website, and there you can either send me an email or you can schedule a time to talk with me over the phone and we can discuss how I can help you in your business. Again, if you found anything useful in this video, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, let me know what your thoughts are about hiring a bookkeeper or whether you're just managing your books yourself. And thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.